Hello, class. Welcome to the semester. I'm super excited to have the opportunity to work with you this semester as we explore the topics of organizational development and change together. As we get things started, I just wanted to say hello so you can put a name with a face. This will be the first of many videos that you will be watching with me in them, so hopefully I won't be a stranger to you. But as this is a bit of a unique online course, I wanted to just take a few minutes and walk you through what the course is like, the different elements of the course, and make sure that we're all on the same page as we get the ball rolling with the semester. So, first off, the very first thing you need to do as you jump into this semester is to start navigating through these first two modules. Within the first couple days of class, I would love for you to look at the course overview and introduction module. That includes a welcome to the course where I provide a little bit of an overview of the class. This video, then a Meet the Professor where you can learn more about me, the course syllabus, and then resources and materials. This first overview and introduction module will hopefully give you a pretty good sense of what the course entails. And help you get off on the right foot and hit the ground running. The next module that you'll want to dive right on into is the consulting project introductory videos and various materials. So this first link, you'll be able to go in and you'll be able to see more details about the consulting project that you're going to be doing and some resources. There will be more to come on this, but this gives you a pretty good sense to get started. There's also the website for the client organization, a general orientation video to the client organization generally, and then a more specific overview video for the organization's objectives for the project. And then there is a organizational development consulting project preference survey. You'll be able to identify which of the topics and which of the projects you might have most interest in. Through a drag and drop, you'll be able to rank order the projects in the order of your interest, and then I'll do my best to form teams based on your preferences. By the middle of week 2, next week, we'll form teams, and then you'll be able to hit the ground running with your projects. So, once you do all of that, then you can actually get into Module 1, which is the first content module that we'll be going over this week. But before we go there, let me go into the course syllabus and just walk you through really kind of the ins and outs of what's going to be happening in this class. First, I want to emphasize this is a service learning class. You will be doing a team-based consulting project, consulting project with your client organization. And as such, you will be meeting weekly with your team. These meetings can happen either in person on campus if you're all available on campus, or these meetings can happen virtually via web conference. There's many web conference tools that are available for you. You can even use the tools integrated into Canvas. Or you can use Google Hangouts or Skype or whatever. There's so many available technologies, and in the course materials page, there's some instructions on some that you might choose to use, but you can use whatever you want. But you will be meeting weekly. This makes this a little different than the types of online classes that maybe you've done in the past. There is weekly online readings and quizzes and case studies and assignments that you'll be doing individually, but you'll also be meeting weekly with your team starting next week, or actually starting in week 3. And you will be, or maybe next week, I'll have to double check. But you'll be starting with your team meetings right away. And then you'll be working on your projects. And so there's this synchronous element to this online course, and there's team-based learning, and you're doing a client project. So keep that in mind. If that's not for you, if you hear me saying that and you're like, that's not what I expect or want in an online course, then frankly, you probably should think about taking a different class. There's no shame in taking a class that better fits with your needs and your expectations. So, by all means, if this class isn't going to work for you, be aware of what is expected, and then you can make that decision early on and get into a course that's going to fit better. But for all of you who are game to do a consulting project and to work with a team and really find ways to bring the course content to life through a real life experiential learning opportunity, this is the course for you. Here you can see my instructor information. I'll have office hours on campus every Thursday, but I'm also available by email. I'm very available. I even have some virtual we can do virtual office hours. So we can do video conference, phone call, whatever. Please just let me know if and when you have questions. I aim to be very available and responsive. I usually respond to emails extremely quickly. So as long as I'm not in a meeting or teaching, I'll probably get back to you within an hour or two, sometimes within minutes, depending on what I'm doing. So please don't hesitate to get in contact with me. Here you can see the course objectives for the class. You can see overall course information, prerequisites, all that kind of stuff that you typically see in the course syllabus. The main text for the course is Strategic Organizational Development and Change. This is a free e-text. So you don't need to pay anything for it. You can download the PDF and use it that way. You can actually purchase an at-cost physical copy for like $5 or something through Amazon if you want. Otherwise, you can just use the PDF. I've also integrated the text into the quizzes, and so the way the quizzes work is that each week, pretty much each week, you'll have assigned reading, and then there will be usually just a question per section of that assigned reading, and the text for the associated text for that question is embedded right there in the quiz, and then you read it, you take the quiz question, you go to the next section, you read it, you take the quiz question, like that. So whatever works best for you, is good for me. I just want to see you guys engaging with the reading and with the material. Here you can see just all the typical class procedures, communication, expectations, late work, assignments, withdrawals, all that kind of stuff. None of this should be any surprise to you. It's pretty typical you've seen in all of your classes, I think. But let me know if you have any questions about any of that. Now, what you're probably all super interested in is this grading element. So keep in mind the grading scale over here. This is, again, pretty typical in the business school. And then you can see kind of a general breakdown of the different grading components. There's going to be really just straightforward small reading quizzes, 1 point per question. Again, pretty much 1 question per section of reading. And so some weeks there will be more questions than others, depending on how long the chapter is and how long the reading is. But generally speaking, you're looking at, around 3 to 5 sections, 3 to 5 questions a week. And that should be fairly straightforward, not too complicated. There will be 13 class discussions where you will post midweek your introductory response to the question. There's usually several questions posed, and you can choose one of them. You'll post your response by midweek, and then you have by the end of the week to respond to multiple classmates. And each week you'll have different random teams or random groups rather for the discussions. So my hope is that you'll get a chance to interact with all your classmates over the course of the semester in smaller discussion groups, so it's not overwhelming where everyone's all in one discussion group. So keep that in mind as well. Participate by midweek and then respond to classmates by the end of the week. There will be 8 case write-ups throughout the semester, kind of more or less every 2 weeks-ish. Sometimes there will be multiple weeks in a row where it will be every week. These are generally 3 to 5 page cases where you're going to do about a 2-page case response, usually 3, sometimes 4 questions in the case that you're responding to that apply directly to the reading and to the topic for the week. And so I want to see that you have thorough, substantial kind of responses to those questions. So that's what I'm looking for. I'll skip down here to student weekly module participation and preparation, and then I'll talk about the service learning project. The student weekly module participation and preparation. So there are due dates. So one, I expect you to get stuff done on time. It's important because this corresponds, the course content, the weekly modules correspond with the different phases of your consulting project. And so you need to stay on top of the material so that that can inform how you're moving forward with your project, with your team. And because you're working on a team project, you want to be able to make meaningful contributions to your team throughout the semester. So I expect things to be done on time, and not just the written assignments and the discussions, but I post videos. I post short lecture videos. I have links to other videos that are relevant to the material for that week. And I want to see that you watch those. So I can see the analytics for the course. I can see which students watch which videos. I can see how long students spend on different sites, different pages in the course. I can see what you click through. I can see all that kind of stuff. So basically all of that will feed into what your preparation, participation, professionalism grade for the course will be. As long as you get in and do the modules every week, stay on top of things, you'll be great. But if you skip the videos, if you don't do the written assignments, you get things in late, you're not meeting with your team weekly, those sorts of things, then that will affect this portion. So that makes up all of those make up a good chunk of the overall grade, but then that leaves the service learning project. The service learning project is worth 1,330 points. That's a lot of points, and so I break it down here in terms of all the different pieces to that grade. There's going to be 5 reflections throughout the project. You're going to be doing a team project proposal. There will be 10 points a week for weekly team meeting updates. You'll have a meeting with me in my office. There will be end of semester site and group evaluations. In these group evaluations, you'll be doing peer review and self-evaluation and peer review of your teammates. And so there's going to be a lot of accountability for how people participate, both in terms of the quantity and the quality of their participation in the team project. And you'll be evaluating each other, and your client organization will be evaluating you as well, in addition to my evaluation. And so you need to make sure that you're all contributing. You'll submit a time log, and then you'll have the big final project, the big final oral presentation. You'll do a follow-up meeting with your client for any questions that they have. All of that together makes up that 1,330 points. So that's a big project. Basically, you can't pass the class unless you do a good job on your big consulting project. That's learning in action. That's where you're taking what you're doing in the class in terms of the readings, in terms of the case studies, and thinking through the material, and that's where you're applying it and getting some real world experience in doing OD work and being a consultant. Okay, if you scroll down further, you'll see more details about each of these different assignment components, as well as the prompts for the 5 reflections that you'll be doing throughout the semester. So if you come back to the main page, you'll see, of course, kind of the typical navigation that you see in your courses. All the things that are due will be, over here. You can go into the schedule and see things that way as well. And then there's weekly modules. So once we get into the content modules, there's 2 ways to see what you need to do. One is just the scroll method, where you can just scroll down and see everything that needs to be done, and click on the various things that you need to submit. But the other way is you can just go into the module overview. If you click on the module overview, that will then take you into an introduction for the week, and then you can see specifically what you need to do, and that's all listed here as well. So if you just want to go to one place and see it, you can see the videos that need to be watched, you can see the assignment, the readings that need to be done, the quizzes that need to be done. All of that is just embedded right here. So feel free, whatever makes more sense to you. I just want to make sure that you're getting into all the material. So I think that's basically it for an overview on the class. I really look forward to working with all of you, and don't hesitate, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.